Right now on Auckland's North Shore, tables are being set and plates of hot food, cakes and desserts are being dropped off as former All Black Ian Jones turns his hand to community cuisine. Ian and his wife Janine Graham-Jones started the Friday night dinners a few months ago for anyone who needed a hot meal or just some cheery company. They now regularly have more than 30 diners and say anyone is welcome. Our reporter Rowan Quinn and video journalist Dan Cook went along to see what was on the menu.
You've got my apple crumble back again. Thank you. And I'll walk around and I want to see you smiling faces when you're eating it. I don't want you to cover it up in too much ice cream and custard. You will enjoy it.
Ian Jones is still striving for excellence, but this time it's in the kitchen rather than the rugby field. He's welcoming about 40 diners, many of them regulars, to the weekly community meal in Rosmini College's auditorium in Takapuna.
So macaroni cheese, salmon quiche, Thai beef rolls. Very lucky today.
And there's plenty more on the menu. Chicken, chop suey, casseroles, most of it dropped in by members of the community or cafes. Janine is the brains behind the operation and Ian's the front man, waiting at the door with the warmest of welcomes on a chilly Friday night.
How are you, man?
Very well,
How's
thanks.
the week been?
Yeah, very good.
Rocking up from the retirement village next door are a bunch of regulars. Anne and Eileen rally the troops.
So I told the girls when we went to Happy Hour to have a few wines about it, and Eileen was one of the ones that said, oh, I'd like to go, and I'm loving it.
What is it about it, apart from the food?
Just the friendship, the warmth, you know. And the beautiful food.
But it's not just for seniors. They've had new migrants who don't know many people, others trying to improve their English, rough sleepers, and some diners who just pop in to see what's going on. And there's a much younger crew, helpers from the community, like 9-year-old Abby.
Set out some of the cutlery and one of the water jugs and the flowers and the cups. And the tablecloths.
The volunteers then sit down to eat too. Eileen loves the mix.
What I like about it is I don't have family in New Zealand, so I get to mix with middle-aged people, the volunteers, and the boys from Rosmini, so it gives me that mix of people rather than all seniors, yeah. Plus the food. The food is delicious and the volunteers are... There's so much love here.
Ian says it's great to see some of the diners form friendships that they're taking beyond the Fridays. Eddie's Meals is named after Ian's swimming squad and regular volunteers, Eddie's Eels. He says he and Janine started it because their family has been blessed, so they want to give something back.
So we opened our doors and whoever walked in through the door was the need, but one thing we always guarantee, whoever walks in, they'll be loved and respected, and that's kind of what we hope to get out of it, and that's what we have.
Eddie first popped in to check out the meal a few weeks ago and has been back every Friday since, helping the team to get the place set up before joining in.
I'm all right. I can look after I can stand on my own 2 feet now, but the thing is that for a lot of people, well, look, a lot of them, it's, well, you can tell by the level of the conversation. So they're having a good time and enjoying themselves.
Though they sometimes have diners who can't afford to feed themselves, Ian points out that need isn't always about material hardship.
A lot of them are quite lonely and need some company and need sort of interaction with other people or a reason to come out. So some initially a little bit hesitant, saying it's not really for me, but when they come, they understand was genuine. They understand that there is, you know, that connection, that physical connection sometimes, but that verbal connection other times is a reason to come back. And, you know, others that have drifted in here have been, you know, just for a nice hearty meal or maybe to ease the burden on one particular night. So we do that.
Dessert is as much of a smorgasbord as dinner, with ice cream, sponge rolls, chocolate eclairs and more. But there's one dish in particular that everyone's talking about.
Just a quick poll of how Ian's desserts are. What do you think?
Oh, it's beautiful. Really good.
It'll break my arms if I don't say the apple crumble.
Ian and Janine, who's a senior nurse, lead busy lives, but he says starting Eddie's Meals has given them so much. Lots of diners have become friends, and every week they look forward to hearing about what they've been up to.
There is a need, and we live on the North Shore of Auckland, in Takapuna here. There's no excuse that there's not a need for a community sort of get together like this, and so we're doing it every Friday night. We're always going to be here. Our doors will always be open, and people are more than welcome to come along.
And Ian says anyone who is keen to help with Eddie's Meals can get in touch with him via its Facebook page. He says they also love putting on entertainment for the guests like jazz bands, singers or ballroom dancers, if anyone out there is interested.